August makes 2 years of us living in our RV full time, and I thought I would share a couple things that I do not like about living in our RV.
It honestly burnt me out. And on top of that, the math just wasn't mathing anymore.
This brand new Brinkley costs more than $200,000. All that money gets you is tape bubbles, peeling lights, a leaking gutter, discolored floors.
Alright, so today is somewhat of a continuation to the video that I made with people regretting their tiny homes. Many people of course want a cheaper way of living with home prices constantly increasing, but with the rise of popularity of vans and RVs during COVID, it's become very expensive as well, along with the other negatives that come with living in an RV. I'm going to be lotting up a few versions of mobile living together. We got the RV life, the van life, and fifth wheels all in this video today. We have a ton of stuff to go over, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below, but let's just jump right into it.
August makes 2 years of us living in our RV full time, stationary. We're not as cool as you other travelers. And I thought I would share a couple things that I do not like about living in our RV. Number one, I'm gonna have to say the space. I thought a smaller space would be easier for us to keep clean. I thought it would just be simpler, and it's actually the quite opposite. I literally clean like 3 to 4 times a day. I have to like vacuum, Swiffer, all the things. Yes, it's a smaller space, but it gets so dirty and dusty, and with 2 toddlers, it gets to be a lot. 2 would be not having our laundry here in our place. I sound like a spoiled little brat. We live on my mom's property, and my mom allows us to go and use all of her stuff, which is wonderful, and I'm very grateful. But I cannot wait to have it in our house where I can wake up at the butt crack of dawn, start doing some laundry, load of laundry a day, and it's hard to do that when I'm going back and forth and back and forth. This one is gonna sound kind of mean, but I'm gonna say it. When we are all home, when my husband and I and the kids are all home, it is a lot.
And that kind of comes with the territory because of the lack of space. You're going to be together all the time. And the other thing she was talking about with the laundry, some people aren't that lucky. If you don't have your own in-unit washer and dryer or a place to do your laundry like her parents, that's another added expense because you're going to be going to the laundromat pretty often. But we could go over to the comments. It's so easy to get overstimulated in such a small place. So far, my least favorite thing about RV life has been the toilets, also followed by the constant need to sweep. But we can move on to another quick clip talking about a similar situation.
The worst thing about living in an RV full time isn't what you think. It's not the space, it's not the weather, it's not even the repair. It's having absolutely nowhere to escape when somebody gets on your nerves. Even disagreements end up becoming a group project because the neighbors can hear everything you say.
RV life broke my 34-year marriage. Wow. Another person saying RV living gets old. The creator responds definitely. But like I said at the beginning of the video, this type of living is starting to get very expensive.
When owning a traditional home is out of reach, what's left? Social media calls it van life. We need to call van life what it actually is. It's displacement. Over 480,000 Americans now live in RVs full time. That's double the 2021 figure. And the crazy part, it used to be that manufactured home production outpaced RV production by 18%, but that's no longer the case. RV production now outpaces manufactured homes by a ratio of 4 to 1. And remember Berkshire Hathaway? They own Clayton Homes and the mortgage companies. Well, they also own 3 of the largest RV brands in the US. The pattern is simple. Make traditional homes unaffordable, buy up the alternatives, and then make those unaffordable as well. They understand that when rent is astronomical, we will look for alternative living solutions, and they've already bought them. And as a result, RV living is becoming more expensive than living in a house.
This is a very similar issue that we saw in the tiny homes video. People were moving into these places because it was super cheap, especially during COVID. Fast forward to 2026, we were seeing news articles of people getting scammed for hundreds of thousands of dollars for these exact same tiny homes. Doesn't seem too affordable anymore. Going over to the comments, lot rent in my friend's trailer park went from $500 a month to $1,500 a month. Another person saying private equity because they made mobile homes the cost of a house. And you could add in even more expenses, say if you need a pickup truck to haul your camper. We've seen in the car videos, new trucks could get up to $100,000 now, let alone the gas or diesel prices.
It honestly burnt me out. And on top of that, the math just wasn't mathing anymore. And it's honestly unfortunate because the whole purpose that I got into the trucks was to tow my RV. That was literally the sole reason. I got rid of my Audi TT-RS and my F250 for my 2500, and then I got rid of my X5M for 3500 and blah, blah, blah. That's besides the point. I am going to start that content again, as I am planning to take a trip. That's why the RV is here. But, you know, I'm going to keep it 100% real with you guys. These RV sites are overcharging, and the diesel prices those are just ridiculous right now. The fuel prices, that's pretty recent, but the RV site prices, they've been upping them and upping them and upping them, you know, like since I've honestly started this stuff.
Campgrounds started charging hotel prices during COVID and haven't come back to reality. But we haven't seen any definitive numbers yet, so we'll just move on to this person who breaks down how much they actually spend per month.
How much money do I need to do van life? Let's talk about it. The thing about van life is that your van can be as cheap or as expensive as you'd like it to be, and your lifestyle can be as cheap or as expensive as you'd like it to be. There's not really one set number of exactly how much money you should have, but a breakdown of what my budget looks like is on the screen, and these are a few guidelines and just general things to keep in mind. First things first, one of the big expenses is where you'll be staying every night. There's a lot of different options for this that'll make your life cheaper or more expensive, like boondocking or paying for campgrounds, but a breakdown of some of the different options and their costs are on the screen. Another one of the biggest expenses of van life is gas. Now obviously this cost varies with how much or little you're driving, but gas is an unavoidable expense during van life and something that you absolutely have to have in your budget. You know yourself best, so I'm not even going to go into budgeting for food, but this is how much I spend. And my best advice about how much money you should have before doing van life would be after you get your van, save up 6 months of whatever your baseline monthly bills would be and have that in an emergency fund, and then you're ready to hit the road.
Okay, so I know this one is steered more towards people traveling, but the comment that she made, either it could be as cheap or as expensive as you want. I think when we're talking about the luxury type of van life, yes, it could get ridiculously expensive. I still remember a clip we watched a long time ago of somebody going over one of those Mercedes Sprinter vans that was completely decked out in the nicest options possible, and it was like $200,000. But on the other side of that, even the cheapest vans are still pretty expensive now because of how popular this has gotten. I have a screenshot we could look over of what she put in the video. The first thing is the van, which is a Ram, not as popular as the Sprinter models or even the Ford Transit. It is paid off, but they purchased it for $80,000. I don't think I have to tell you that's a lot of money. Insurance is $90, food is another $600 for 2 people. Her stays are $400, gas is $600 a month. Experiences are another $200, baseline bills are $1,100, van maintenance and fund money being another $100 each. So in total, that's almost $3,200 a month. I know overall with the median home prices and high interest rates right now, mortgages are very expensive, but $3,200 is still a good amount of money as well. The first comment here is, I spend less for my house. I honestly don't see how people afford this. People confuse van life with living cheaply. While some are forced to live in their cars, that's not what's being described here, and that's what I was saying before. And I think there are some people out there who got a little bit in over their heads, especially when they started making content about living in their vans or RVs.
Alright guys, I ran out of money, but my goal is to make $2,000 here in Homer before I drive up to the Arctic Ocean. So I'm gonna go ask this restaurant if I can have a job. Let's go. Alright, good news. They said come back tomorrow and we can get you started serving or bartending. I think they really needed help.
I would say right off the bat, I don't know how much money you'd make there. It seems like the restaurant was pretty empty, but we could go over to the comments. It's giving, I don't do any research or preparation. I don't want to be a hater, but come on. Christopher McCandless isn't an inspiration, he's a warning. The creator's response isn't great. Some things aren't worth researching. This probably was though. You're gonna need way more than $2,000, bud. There's no jobs for you in Dead Horse. I'd shoot for double that. I'd buy spare tires and maybe a Garmin InReach off Marketplace. Another person just saying awful place to work. Again, it didn't look like there were too many customers, so you probably wouldn't make that much money. But like I said before, this is another one of the van life content creators, and we could get into an entire discussion for the van life families, the RV influencers, packing their entire large families in a really small space, recording everything. That almost never ends up being a good choice, but we could just move on to another experience.
We're gonna rank the worst things that have ever happened to me while living in a van, starting strong with number 1. I was driving in Colorado and all of a sudden I had to slam on my brakes, and at the time in my old rig, my toilet was underneath my bed right in the middle of my van, and when I slammed on my passenger seat, out pops the toilet, comes into the front seat, and it was a completely full toilet. You can imagine to my surprise what I was covered in, what the entire van was covered in. So immediately I had to pull over, handle myself, handle the van, and have a nervous breakdown. And that didn't just happen once, it happened twice. Negative 1,000 out of 10. Number 2, so I drove my van to Mexico, and my friends and I were in a caravan actually on our way back to the American border when my friend's rig all of a sudden just shut down and went into limp mode. So we pulled over and decided to spend the night on the side of the road in Mexico and wait for a tow truck to tow them across the border the next day. Well, at 3 in the morning, I woke up to my window shattering. It's dark outside, so I go outside to see, and there was nothing there. I still have no idea to this day how my window became shattered. I think it was because it was really windy when a semi drove by, maybe kicked up a rock, and then that rock came into my window. But the most afraid I've ever been in my life. Honestly, really scary.
Not a situation that I'd want to deal with whatsoever. But one thing you can't ignore, especially when you're talking about any of these, the campers, fifth wheels, RVs, vans, is the brutal depreciation you're going to take.
Oh, $63,000 on an RV that's worth about $18,000 to $20,000.
How did that happen?
Well, I'm 25, and when I was about 23, I made a dumb decision and bought an RV and lived in it for about 6 months, and now I've bought a house and I have nothing to do with that RV.
No, I'm saying the RV actually, you bought it for how much?
So when I bought it, it was $68,000.
How long ago?
And it's 3 years ago.
So in 3 years, it lost $52,000 in value.
Yes, sir.
I mean, on a percentage basis, this is worse than I've ever seen. We go over depreciation a lot on this channel, talking about cars, especially overpriced modern cars now. They like to drop in value like a rock, but when you're talking about stuff like RVs, it's at an entirely different level.
I'm going to rip all my hair out. Okay, so for context, here's the cliff notes. If you've ever wanted to tiny live, take it from someone who learned the hard way and who did it for technically 2 years, but it was less than that we lived in it. It is horrible. The amount of social media that I see glamorizing tiny living, I'm sure that works for some people. I now know that there's a right and a wrong way to do it. But honestly, no one talks enough about how horrible it can be to tiny live. I'm currently about to pull my hair out because we got an RV to tiny live in temporarily to move across country, knowing we were going to sell it down the line to put towards a house, which is what we're doing right now. It depreciated over 80% in 2 years. I want to pull all my hair out. I'm gonna
RV is very different living than a tiny house. RVs are extremely low quality and lose value quickly. But as we saw in the tiny house video, the quality isn't there either, and they do depreciate also. We lost our tiny home, which I think they're talking about an RV, due to engine failure mid-trip from North Carolina to Louisiana. Now, actually reading this over, I'm not sure if it is Louisiana or Los Angeles, because the next sentence says we were homeless in the snow. We learned a lot and missed living on the road, but know now we need a permanent base to avoid being left out on the road with nothing but each other. Regardless of wherever they were going on the trip, I definitely wouldn't want to be stranded in the snow either. Now, this next clip, I didn't really know where to put in the video, so it's kind of shoehorned in, but it was too good to not put in. Just a very different way to lose a lot of money on your RV quickly. Especially with the photo of what it looked like at the end of the video, I don't know how you thought you were going to get through, but I bet those repairs are going to cost a ton of money.
This has got to be the biggest depreciation hit that I've seen all year. Now, I don't know a lot about RVs, but even I know this is nice, and it should be. The original owner paid $814,000 for this in 2022. But before you call this guy a dum-dum for what he lost, let me tell you what he had actually bought in the first place. This isn't just any RV. This is basically a luxury penthouse on wheels. 4 slide-outs, king bed with ensuite bath, full kitchen with wine fridge, fireplace, heated floors, washer dryer, 3 AC units, and a friggin' 360-degree camera system. But here's the brutal reality about luxury RVs. Obviously, they're not investments, they're experiences. The first owner paid a premium for 3 years of memories in what's basically a rolling mansion. Was it worth it? That's between him and his accountant. But I'll tell you this, those experiences cost him $21 a mile, and he drove this coach 22,000 miles. That's right, this just sold on Bring a Trailer for $350,000, a whopping $464,000 depreciation discount.
I don't know how that could be worth almost $500,000. Guess all that luxury isn't worth much in the real world. And another person saying these things never sell at MSRP, so you need to start from a realistic number, probably more like 600 grand is what he actually paid for it. Still, even if that was the case, 600 down to 350 is pretty rough. And even though that was obviously a very extreme example, most people aren't buying it for $600,000 or $800,000. More and more people are getting their mobile homes repoed because they just can't afford it anymore.
There are 349 units at this RV auction tomorrow here at Mannheim. It's got to be 80% motorhomes. The prices have got to be tanking on motorhomes. I've never seen this before. This whole lineup, it's just motorhomes everywhere. Normally the RV market's like 80-85% travel trailers. So for the auction to have 80%, 85% motorhomes is wild. So I don't know what the best guess is on why that's happening. My guess is gas prices have shot through the roof. People can't afford their payments anymore because the majority of these are bank repos. And some of them are credit remarketing guys that do bank repos basically for credit unions because they're too small to have their own departments. But this is wild. I mean, they're just bus.
And I'm not really too surprised, especially if we look at something similar like the car market. The bank repos have just been getting worse and worse for years. Now, another one that's pretty obvious to most, but nonetheless hurts a lot, is the insane amount of gas you're going to pay for.
If you're thinking about buying an RV or camper, you might want to think twice. Over $650 in order to fill the tank. I mean, you have over 100 gallons worth of gas that you have to pump into that thing. A lot of people, when they buy it, yes, oh, it's nice we can travel. Yes, oh, we can live on our own. Yes. But until you have to fill this thing, I mean, that's half of what some people pay in rent, literally just for gasoline. So yes, the thought about it is nice, but if you've been debating whether or not you want to buy one or not, think twice. I never realized how expensive it was to fill a tank on an RV or camper like that.
And going over to the comments, someone says you're forgetting they don't pay rent or utilities. Unless they stay at some sort of campground, then it is like rent. And the next comment after that, campgrounds charge almost hotel prices just to stay a night. Another one says, imagine the pump being slow. I mean, you'd be there forever. But just like everything made in today's world, the quality of these campers and RVs and vans are going down every single year, just like new construction and the tiny homes we've went over.
I'm making this video because I want to know, what do you do when you buy an RV and everything goes wrong with it? A brand new one. I'm not a used. This is a 2026 open range Colt 17 DBS. I dreamed about this RV for years and then we finally both did it, and we got it in March of this year, and every single trip that we have gone on, something has gone wrong. We've already had it in the shop for repairs. Our first trip, the hot water heater didn't work. Brand new, didn't work. Contacted the manufacturer of the hot water heater. They said, take it to Camping World near me. They repaired it, no problem, they were great. Next trip, we find when you shower, water pours out of the back of the RV. I have emailed and submitted forms to, what is it, Open Range, Colt, whichever the name of the brand is. I have it on the website twice, and they have not gotten back to me. The website says 48 hours, still have not gotten back to me.
Okay, I'm cutting off this video here. It's not even halfway done. There's even more issues. An ex-RV tech here. Don't feel bad. All the RVs are absolute trash. And just FYI, all the manufacturers use the same parts and slap a different brand on it. Starting to sound more and more like the new construction homes that are being built every single day. Another person saying to look up a YouTuber, Liz Amazing. She deals with this all the time. RV quality is ridiculously bad now. Yet another one, oh sweetie, this is with every camper. They're like like boats. They're just pieces of crap. We've had 11 in the last 25 years, and they'll fall apart, break, and leave you moneyless. This does not sound like a fun thing to do whatsoever, or a very costly one. I don't know how you'd save money if you went through 11 of them. That sounds insane, but we could really sit here forever looking at clip after clip like this. Every time we take this thing out, we discover something else wrong with it. We almost bought one like that, and we ended up getting a Binkley G3970. Now I think that's a pretty good transition into the next clip.
This brand new Brinkley costs more than $200,000. All that money gets you is tape bubbles, peeling lights, a leaking gutter, discolored floors, unpainted cabinetry, doors that you have to slam, a dryer that's installed in the wrong cabinet, and the hydraulic arm for this slide is in direct contact with the frame. Haven't been able to get an answer yet about how to fix that. It's all fixable, but is it cozy or crazy? Let me know in the comments, like and follow for more.
I think it's pretty crazy, especially if you're paying over $200,000. They're all made the same in the same production line, just different designs. They all use the same shelf parts, and they just convince people that certain brands are better. But it isn't, it's just marketing. I don't know, I wasn't really into the whole RV or van life in the first place, but these kind of clips convinced me to definitely steer clear.
Don't buy an RV. What's your plan? Oh, I'm gonna be an explorer. I'm gonna be a real life road cowboy. I'm gonna carry my poop around everywhere I go. RVs depreciate worse than BMWs. An RV is a house payment that has no equity. An RV is a $120,000 statement. I'm old, I've spent my entire life being inconvenienced, and now that we're on this US numbered highway that's 2 lanes, I'm gonna inconvenience everyone else by going slow. I've waited on people my whole life, and now it's time for them to wait on me. God, I hate RVs. You know what's better than an RV? What's a million times better than an RV? A Hampton Inn hotel room anywhere.
Okay, so I don't know what this guy's got against RVs. Seems like he hates them a lot more than the average person, but it does seem like a better bet to rent one of these things if you are looking into this type of lifestyle, or if you just want to travel for a couple weeks or even a couple months. Owning one of these things just seems like a money pit. Basically the exact opposite of what some people were trying to do when they bought a van to live in to save money instead of renting an apartment or buying a very expensive house. Also, RVs are even worse now. Don't know when it happened, but I knew a guy who worked in an RV place for decades. Somewhere around 2019 or 2018, the quality went down a lot. Basically when the quality of everything else did as well. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.